Hey guys, Travin with Ajax Motorsports. Today we're going to go through my toolbox that I take with me to the track. First things first, got a magnet tray on the outside in case you have to take anything apart and you need somewhere to store your bolts. But let's dive into this thing. So we've got some stickers all over this thing. We'll do a sticker tour later. First things first, got a little notebook. This has some suspension notes, kind of some different settings, different changes we've made on different days. So that's always nice to go back and look if you're ever confused at the track. Then I have a laminated sheet of torque specs. This thing comes in handy. This particular one's for one of the newer KTM, the newer generation. I've got a couple notes on here because there's a couple bolts that we run a little bit tighter just for the handling of the bike. So that thing always comes in handy. And then in the top of my box here, I have sockets along the back. I've got a little 1/4-inch drive socket set. This has sockets, extensions, a little ratchet, just kind of your common, my hinges are broke so I have straps on it, but just kind of your common little tool kit. This thing comes in handy all the time. So also with that, I've got adapters and an impact. Sometimes you come across emergencies whenever you're at the races and you got to get something apart quick or get in to diagnose something. So we've got adapters for all the different size sockets. We've got an impact to get into stuff quick. We've also got a drill and drill bits. I've been caught in a pinch with a drill and no drill bits before. So now I have a little baggie of drill bits that stay in the track box because you never know when you're going to need drill bits to put something back together. Maybe a little bit bigger one to put a hole shot device on or something like that in a pinch. So drill bits and a drill definitely come in handy at the races. I've also got a little wire brush here, steel wool, some Scotch-Brite in case you need to clean anything up while you're working on it. I've got a spring puller, so in case you need to get an exhaust off, anything like that. I've also got dry erase marker. So this is for the pit board, for drawing on your buddy's goggles, for whatever you might need a dry erase marker for at the track. Extra battery for the drill and impact. Got stickers. Always try to stick an Ajax sticker on something at every racetrack I'm at. As long as they have a designated place to put stickers. We don't want to vandalize any property. But in here we've also, like I said earlier, we've got sockets, got an extension, got Torx bits for these European bikes. And that's kind of what I keep in the top of my toolbox. So this stuff's always accessible at the track with the top lid open. And then in just a second we'll dive into all the different drawers and what I keep in there. So here I have a little Motion Pro T-handle rack and some little stubby T-handles. Just for carrying this thing in and out of the races. It's super heavy, but I try to pack it all in so it's just one quick trip. And then you just gotta kind of hang some of these little guys up. I've got a couple longer ones in case you need to get to something a little harder to reach. And I also, believe it or not, if I remember where I put everything, I like to hang my tire pressure gauge right at the end, so it's easy to get to also. Don't mind my cracked screen. All right, so we went through the top of the box. Now let's go ahead and dive into the drawers. So it is Valentine's Day, how fitting. Top drawer here, I've got screwdrivers. I've got an assortment of different sizes. I've got flat blades. I've got JIS plus bits. So we can fix basically whatever we're gonna need to. I've also keep my picks here in the top drawer. And then I've also got all my pliers. So I've got safety wire pliers and safety wire. This isn't only used on grips. This stuff is also awesome. I had somebody break a side plate. We safety wired the side plate back on to get through the day. Just little stuff like that. Safety wire and safety wire pliers come in handy all the time. Something else is a pair of wire strippers. Just if there's any kind of electrical problem, you might need to like put some electrical tape over something, but some wire strippers to cover it up. snap ring pliers in case you need to do anything. Maybe it's pull an oil filter out, maybe you're changing wheel bearings in a pinch, something like that. Snap ring pliers are always handy. I've also got a pair of needle nose pliers. I've got a pair of side cutters and also a pair of channel locks. I also have these neat, I call them sober pliers, but it's these little bitty snap-on pliers that just have some really aggressive teeth. These things are awesome. I can, like carburetor screws and stuff like that. If you ever have a stripped out screw, these are awesome for grabbing a hold of the head of it and being able to break it loose. I also have some flush cut side cutters or electrical side cutters. These are great for zip ties and stuff. That way, whenever you do have to dive into something, your zip ties are cut off flush and they're not cutting you up and leaving you bleeding whenever you're working on the bike. So these things always come in handy too. But that's what I've got in the top drawer. Moving down to the second drawer. This one's kind of a mess, a little bit of a catch-all. I've got an extra battery for the drill or the impact. I have my sag scale. Super important reminder here, always check your sag whenever you show up to the track, because that can make or break your ride. It'll change how your bike handles. So sometimes you want to make adjustments for the terrain. Sag scale always comes in handy. I've got some rubber gloves in a Ziploc bag just to try and keep them clean. So if you have to change an air filter or you're actually working on something, don't want to get as dirty. Got some thin ones, some thicker ones, so a couple different sets of rubber gloves. I have a wash cap set. So for these European bikes, if you pull the tank off, you can plug off the fuel line while you're washing them to really get in there, get all the nooks and crannies good. I've got some anti-seize lubricant. I've got some Loctite. Anti-seize is great for the axles, putting it inside the rear brake hanger where the axle slides through, stuff like that. So that's always in my toolbox. Same with Loctite. If you've got to change your sprocket or put something back together, Loctite's always a good thing. I've got my Allen T-handles here in this drawer as well, along with some zip ties. I've got a couple different old bolts that I use as pusher bolts. So if it's something crazy, you got to pull a swing arm off or something like that, these work really good for pushing the swing arm pivot bolt out or something like that. So a little bit more extreme there. Really hope you don't have to use them at the track, but you never want to get caught at the track without something to be able to fix your bike and get back out there. I've got my hammers in here. I've got a dead blow mallet and also a ball peen hammer. Always bring a big hammer. You never know when you're gonna have to beat something. That's probably my favorite tool in my toolbox is my hammer. And then diving down into the bottom drawer here, this one's got a lot of metal, makes a lot of noise while you're driving down the road, but we'll dive into it. So in some Velcro here, I have a couple Sharpies, some X-Acto knives, a couple extra dry erase markers, just because you always seem to need that, whether you're signing autographs with your Sharpies or drawing on your buddy's goggles, you always need something to write notes down. I've got a box knife in here, just because sometimes you don't need the X-Acto knife, you need to just make a little bit more of a hacky cut, and this thing gets the job done. Also in this drawer, I keep my ratchets. So I've got a 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 drive. I've got my torque wrenches in here. So I've got my inch pounds and my foot pounds torque wrench. I've got an assortment of wrenches. So everything from a spoke wrench for the European bikes to one of the Kawasaki OEM owner's manual spoke wrenches. I've got one of those in here too, because I have some Kawasaki's that once in a rare blue moon get busted out. So keep that in here too. I've got this neat little WP adjuster. This came with my WP 6500 spring conversion kit, but this makes it really handy to get in under the handlebar and screw with the clickers on the top of the fork. So that thing is a lifesaver. I keep that in my toolbox. I also have the wrench for adjusting the preload on my spring conversion forks, or also the cold valve forks. It works on both of those. I have the tire spoon / axle wrench combo from Motion Pro. This one's a 32 for my rear axle on my gas. This one's a 22 that fit the Kawasaki's I used to have, but if I need to change a tire, it still works. So keep both of those in this drawer. And then I also just keep an assortment of wrenches, a 27 for the older KTM front axles, another 22 for the Kawasaki's, a big 19 in case you need to get to your linkage, 17 just in case there's anything down there. And then I keep a 13, of course, for the European bikes, but I have a 12 and 14 in here too, because like I said, I've got some Kawasaki's also, an 8, a 10, just kind of your basic wrenches that you're gonna need to work on your bike. And that's kind of what I keep in my my box that I take with me to the races. And so far it's done me good. It seems like every time I go to the race, I kind of make a mental note of what all I used and what I might have wanted to have, and we've kind of built this from that. So this is the big heavy box that I carry around to the races. All right, I told you we'd go over some of the stickers. So this is what I keep under the lid. I've got this little Specialized Globe logo. I just think that guy's a pretty funny little logo. I've got this Action Figure Therapy sticker, because sometimes at the races you kind of get down in a rut, you're having a bad day, you just need a reminder that I love my job. What we're doing is fun. We're getting to play with dirt bikes and work on dirt bikes, so you got to keep that reminder there sometimes. Got a first place sticker here from back in the Supermoto days, just a reminder to always kind of push, and that's what you're shooting for. Husky sticker, my little T-Dub logo, got an Ajax sticker under here, of course. Got some number plates from my buddies. Got one of our buddies that passed away, got one of his stickers on here. My 405 engines from 405 Mods down there. And then I've even got a little 41. My buddy Nicky that used to do all my graphics, I've got him tucked in there. He's racing all over Europe and everything, racing Supermoto, representing the USA, so that's super cool. Shout out to Nicky. And then here's kind of what I have on the lid. Got an Ethica sticker, another Ajax sticker. We'll spin this guy around here. So this is what you see if you walk up on the back of it. I'll come over here with you. But again, a little T-Dub logo, Husky logo, Specialized, because I've turned into more of a bicycle guy since I turned 25, it seems like. Let's Go Brandon. It's probably my favorite part about NASCAR is their chants. Another Ajax sticker, because we ride okay. The Ajax GP, if you know, you know. Some more Action Figure Therapy stickers here. So these are kind of more comical. I don't know if you've ever shot a machine gun on peyote, but I was also born to thrill. I've got my toolbox here and we solve problems with that. So problem solved, problem staying solved. Big Ajax logo because we got to represent, and that's my toolbox. And if I must say so myself, it's like a mustache with titties.